So this week, I'm going to be expanding on nutrition as the first of our 5 pillars of metabolic health that I believe send caregivers need to be paying attention to. I thought it important to explain in a little bit better depth than a single post why you should pay attention to nutrition. And I want to start by just going back to my post last week and asking you to do a little word swap for me. Right? Instead of thinking calories, you think food and nutrition. I want you to think nourishment. Again, calories is a unit of energy. It's a way we measure energy expenditure. It's a way of telling how much energy is in a food or not. But what calories doesn't tell you is how much nourishment is in a particular food, not as it may be. There are plenty of foods that are absolutely packed with calories, packed with energy, but have very little essential nutrients, therefore do very little to actually nourish you. Rice, as an example, packed with energy, practically no essential nutrition. So if you ate just rice all the time, nothing else, you would develop deficiencies, you would get ill. Yeah, that wouldn't end well. So think about nutrition in terms of nourishment. You're looking for things that are highly dense in the essential nutrients for human beings. We're talking about essential amino acids, essential fatty acids, essential vitamins, essential minerals. You get some other nutrients that are beneficial as well, some antioxidants and stuff like that, but they're not essential. The best way to do this for a send caregiver who you're tired, you're running on fumes, you're highly stressed, you don't have the bandwidth to be planning out this elaborate wellness campaign, right? And I get it because I live this too. And so I'm giving you the tips that have worked for me, that have really moved the needle for me. And for me, focusing on essential nutrients first and foremost, right? Making sure that my food choices are based around what is most nutrient dense and bioavailable in the essential nutrients my body needs. So essential nutrients are nutrients that you have to obtain via your diet because your body needs them, but it cannot create them itself. Like many nutrients, many amino acids, many things, your body will actually make itself from different substrates, put it all together and create it. Glucose, for example, blood sugar. You don't need to eat carbs to meet your blood sugar requirements for the day. You don't need to touch carbs. Your body will create all the carbs that you need because it's got a process that runs back in the background called gluconeogenesis. That runs 24/7. It's a basal metabolic process. It doesn't switch off and doesn't go away. And its job is to take the protein and the fats that you eat and to synthesize carbohydrate, to synthesize glucose from that to meet your body's requirement for glucose. You don't need to eat glucose to meet your body's requirement for glucose. You just need to use your gluconeogenesis, and it runs 24/7 whether you like it or not. It's there, it's in the background, it's doing its thing. Just as an example, so there are many nutrients that you don't have to eat because your body can make them itself. But there are some nutrients that you have to eat, you have to take in via your diet because your body needs them. They are essential. You cannot make them itself. If you lack them, you develop deficiency. If you have a deficiency that maintains over time, you develop disease. That's how essential nutrients work. And therefore, if you focus your nutritional choices on foodstuffs that are giving you the most essential nutrients, the best possible form, you are nourishing yourself very well. And if you're doing that, if you're nourishing yourself very well, you can start to rely on your hunger and satiety hormone segment to start working. Okay? Ghrelin and leptin. You see, your body has this clever little hormonal mechanism worked into it that actually tells you when you're physiologically hungry and when you're satiated. And you can relearn paying attention to that signal to understand when you want to eat, when you don't need to eat. For example, I eat on average once a day towards the end of the day. Days where I'm feeling particularly hungry, maybe I've been excessively active, maybe I've had a highly stressful day and the day before, something has kicked my metabolism up. It's telling me I'm physiologically hungry. Maybe I'll have lunch and then I'll have dinner. But on the average day, I'm just having a big dinner in the evening. I'm not hungry throughout the day. I'm never hungry at breakfast time. Very seldom hungry at lunchtime. I can just go because what I'm eating is highly satiating, and I've relearned those signals in my body such that I don't have to eat. You don't have to eat 3 meals a day. It's marketing nonsense from people trying to sell food because that's how they make money. Breakfast being the most important meal of the day is absolute bullshit. It's not true at all. There was a marketing campaign from Kellogg's, the cereal brand. Breakfast is not the most important meal of the day. In fact, it twisted the whole meaning of the word. Break fast is not the morning meal. That's how modern society understands it. But break fast is the meal that you have to break your fast. You're supposed to fast. You're supposed to have periods of time after eating where you don't take in anything because you're not physiologically hungry. And then break your fast when physiological hunger sets back in. That might be at lunchtime. That might be at dinner time. That might not be for a day or two. Once you relearn your hunger and satiety hormone signaling and start paying attention to whether you are physiologically hungry or not, it's a game changer. Mental focus improves tremendously. The brain fog lifts. You start to do so much better cognitively when you're focusing your food choices on nourishment rather than calories. It's hard to explain. For someone who hasn't actually experienced it and been through it, it's very difficult to explain. But please take my word for this. It's a game changer. It makes a huge difference to how well you feel mentally. And as an aside, as a complete bonus, your body composition starts to correct itself. Now, if you are focusing on nourishment rather than calories, if you are paying attention to your physiological signaling and only eating when truly physiologically hungry, body composition will improve. That is a happy consequence. It's not the aim, it's a bit of a vain indulgence, as it were, but it happens by accident. You don't have to go out and smash yourself for the gym. You don't have to follow this rigid eating plan and basically meal prep and all bodybuilder crap. It's not necessary. Focus your meal choices on nourishment. That's where you start. That's how you start to really move the needle for your mental health, your ability to show up consistent, essential when you can.